securitization on health and medicine. So, and the first will be explained by Nabila Dianza.
Okay, so I will explain introduction. So in the early 2020, the whole world was shocked by a virus called the COVID-19 that began in China. Some countries take action to lock down or quarantine the territory of several areas in the country to limit the transmission. This virus can cause mild disturbance to the respiratory system and several lung infections to death. More than 6.1 billion COVID-19 cases have been reported from around the world. It also, we can see that Russia is one of the countries with the highest COVID-19 cases between the United States and also Spain. And then with this COVID-19 pandemic, this is a threat to every country in various sectors such as military, political, economy, health, environment, and many more. Therefore, this COVID-19 pandemic is said to be a term of securitization or is also considered as a security problem. In this case, health and medicine can be secured as a form of threat to a country. And in this paper, we use the perspective of national security. This perspective was previously only used as a military attack, but as the world evolves, this perspective is not only in military but also non-military, and still has to do with the security of a country. And then
After
the
that,
effort of securitize Russia health and medicine are in line with this national security perspective. And then the next one will be explained by our friend Dandy.
So securitization
Securitization
is
is
a
a
process
process
of
of
changing
changing
political
political
issues
issues
into
into
security
security
issues
issues
that
that
allow
allow
extraordinary
extraordinary
actions
actions
to
to
overcome
overcome
threats
threats
that
that
there
there
are
are
not
not
faced
faced
under
under
normal
normal
circumstances.
circumstances.
In
In
other
other
words,
words, securitization
securitization is an attempt
attempt
to
to
understand and
understand and
find the
find the
best
best
solution
solution
of
of
the
the
threat
threat
that
that
come.
comes.
that we will explain about Russia national security perspective, about how Russia react about it. That will be explained by Winda Kopipa.
Yeah, so the how to Russia right to this pandemic is when we're talking about the previously or the or in traditionally the national security is about the military attack, more about the military attack, but like Dianza said that nowadays national security also can resolve to the non military issue like a pandemic. And COVID-19 disease outbreak that have impact almost all countries in the world make many countries have to work hard to protect their people and also the country from all the fatal consequences of this outbreak. And understanding of the state protection also we can talk about that this disease make huge loss to the state both internally and externally, and the effort to the security Russia health and medicine in line with this national security perspective, which cover the scope of this perspective. National security is more than military. So the Russia seen this pandemic as a threat to the country because it can threaten to the politically, military, economic, and health, and many more. And the concept of health security itself include the handling pandemic case with global vaccination, medicine, hygiene practice to reduce the global pandemic.
After that, uh, how the role of Russia handling COVID-19 will be explained by Kemal Wibisono.
When we talk about the role of Russia handling the COVID-19, there's three points. The first one is the security effort carry out by the Russia government to ensure the health security is according to the Moscow Times. And also starting at May 12, 2020, the days of not working nationally will end, and for our economic sector, and the workers are allowed to return to work. So this is the things to recover the economy of the Russia itself. And in 16 May on 2020, that Russia has 272 cases of COVID, but uh, in the early of June, there are for more than 40 hundreds people was positive COVID-19. Next. And also, Russia has the constitutional amendment election that choosing the Putin as the president after 2040, 20, 20, yeah, and also cancel because of the COVID. And also Putin as a president assumes that condition economic is also important as politic conditions. And also Putin will continue the election at on July 1st, 2020. And Putin has prepared stimulus fund of money to, and also allocate to create drug reserve, develop domestic tourism, and also to infrastructure projects.
After that, there is some political dilemma policy from the Russia itself that will be explained by Winda Kopipa.
Yeah, so the Russia has a policy about the social restriction and allowing the citizen to carry out the activity and move to the public place. And this effort is not do without a reason, because when we're talking about the securitization in this pandemic, a country should give a strict policy to slow the spread or to reduce the number of from this case or from this pandemic. And the priority that must be given by the government is to protect the country from the outbreak, and the health protection that must be guaranteed to protect the people itself, especially if we considering that there the healing vaccine it's not being discovered, and also the outbreak has destroyed many factors, especially the economy, especially making this outbreak securitized. And this we know that this is exceptional situation, so the extraordinary action become a very reasonable to take by the government. But this condition makes some dilemma for the Russia itself. Uh, like I said, that Russia has established some easing policy about the social restriction. This is um, most likely what we call about dilemma of Putin, the government itself. This pandemic has hit many sectors, especially economy, like I said before, and many people have lost their job due to the quarantine, isolation, and the lockdown regulation. So um, this like the unusual condition causes people to feel desperate and overwhelmed, and the the easing determined by the Putin government is nothing but from a state protection. It's which the economic country play an extraordinary role for the survival of its people, and or or it can also to be like protect the political smoothness of the government of Putin itself, because because as we know that, like Kemal said before, the constitutional amendment should have been held to elect the President Putin is April 2020, but had to be cancelled due to the conflict and COVID-19 pandemic. But unfortunately, uh, this actually caused a lot criticism and protest against the Putin, and this condition ultimately worse the stability of Russia's security, and also compounded by the decline of economic growth, also causes the decline of economic growth of the Russia itself, and the Russia that the health security is important due to the pandemic, but they also explain that the economic security of the country also important, and also uh, should continue to be considered. But or in other hand, they also mentioned that uh, Putin political Putin political condition also should weigh in smooth, and this is also important to the Putin itself. So the COVID-19 pandemic that has destroyed many sector, especially economy of this from both of these appropriate of this condition to be security. So it's dilemma from the many sector. Next.
So we know that coronavirus 2019 or COVID-19 is a disaster for all countries in the world. It's no exception to big countries like United States, China, or Russia. Currently, more than 7 million people are positive affected by the COVID-19 and killed more than 400,000 people since the December 2019 outbreak. Currently, Russia ranks third after the United States and Brazil, because the COVID-19 positive patient in Russia more than 450,000 and killed more than 5,000 people on June 2020. With the current pandemic, we can conclude that with this current situation, it has resulted in instability of economic, political security, to the safety of medical devices and medicine, as well as human health itself. To make easier, we make some pointed. Firstly, after make a policy to tighten the lockdown, during its time, Russia loosened this policy so that the economic will continue, because we know that this COVID-19 is spread and influence affected to some sector, not only from the health aspect. And then secondly, the Russia prepared a stimulus fund of 1,038 trillion and was allocated to create track reserve, develop domestic tourism, and spend 1 trillion ruble on infrastructure projects. And then after that, Russia itself already has an adequate supply of ventilator and has increased domestic production since the rupture of the corona. And also, the United States donate uh, around 200 medical ventilator to Moscow via U.S. military transport starting from 26th of May 2020. After that, Russia can provide many medical devices such as personal protective equipment for doctor and ventilator for patients affected by COVID-19. That it can also say that it helped by the United States. After that, the last point, that Russia can hold the death rate below 10,000 until the beginning of June. It may say that the Russia itself can